Good morning, everyone. I am Lourdes Bipalaran, and today I will be going to discuss under the topic of Gen Ed Math, which is the elementary algebra, statistics, and probability. So, for the learning competency of this in 4.2, relate mathematics with the real and the concrete through problems that occur in daily life. So, first here we have the maths in daily life. So, what is the uses of math in our daily life or in the concrete through our problem that might occur in our daily life? So here, first we have to define what is math. Here, the mathematics is defined as the science which deals with logic of shape, the quantity, as well as the arrangement. So, during the ancient times, the Egyptians used maths as complex mathematical equations like geometry and algebra. So, another thing is that math is a part of our daily lives. Yes, why? It's because whether we clean the house or make supper or preparing our food, well, the math is useful. So wherever you go, whatever you do, you are using math or we are using math with daily, of course, without even realizing it. So it just comes naturally. So in math, it is also a universal language in that it is a language understood in all countries. So here are the following or here are the following uses of math in our daily life. So the uses of math in our daily life in cooking, in sports, finding distance and length, in navigation, banking and shopping, gardening, and architecture. So here are the examples or the uses of math in our daily life. So first, we have here cooking. So what will be the use of math in terms or in times of cooking? So in cooking, so specifically, we will be able to know here the practical knowledge of ratio and proportion. So, for example, you are making a coffee or tea or milk. So with this, we will be able to know the quantity that requires the knowledge of ratio and proportion. Another example, cooking food like such as breakfast, lunch, dinner, we really needs a clear knowledge of proportion for the preparation to have a good taste, more salt, chili, and among others. So while cooking a recipe, we also need to have a check on the amount of ingredient and correct measure unless our recipe will result in a blunder. So next here is the sports. So what will be the use of math in our daily life in terms of when it comes to sports? So here, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of probability, mensuration, as well as in the statistics. So the mathematical concepts can be applied when one wants to comment about the game. For example, when we toss in game, probability is used as there as an equal chance of getting head or tail. So referees and coaches make calls which are based on time. Another, we can also compare failures and success rate by collecting data of all the past game played. So this can only be done using some aspects of math. So to make the field of correct measure, we also need a good knowledge of menstruation. Next is finding distance and length. So what will be the use of math in terms of finding distance and length? So here we will be able to know the practical knowledge of trigonometry. So math concepts are used to find or calculate. For example, the heights of the towers, mountains and tides in the oceans. So the distance of the shore from a point in the sea and between celestial bodies. So the for example, in the structural load, so the roof slopes, ground surfaces, and many other aspects, including sun shading and light angles. So next is the navigation. So what will be the uses of math that may occur in our daily life? So there or here, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of coordinate geometry. So the concept is widely used while working with graphic designing software. So for example, we often use it to navigate a city or to locate objects in a grid. So when geocaching, we also use latitude and longitude. So the astronomers and amateurs uses sky coordinates to locate objects of interest. So next is the banking and shopping. So what will be the uses of math in our daily life or that may occur in our real life situations? So here, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of percentage and the interest. So first, for example, we're going to visit in a supermarket to buy items. So of course, in purchasing, we will be able to purchase in a decisions that will require some understandings of our budgets as well as and the cost. So in the transaction of money, stocks, and also and bonds. So in the banking, we'll be able to know the loan, interest paid on our loan, interest paid by the bank, and among others. So here, what is the use of, the next is the gardening. So what will be the use of math that may occur in our daily life in terms of, when it comes to gardening? So here, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of mensuration. So in even doing something as mundane as gardening requires a basic math skill. So in gardening, we also need these skills in math. So for example, if we need to plant or sow new seeds or seedlings, you need to make a row, of course, so or count them out or even make holes. So in measuring skills, it is always needed. So, and in calculation also of the essence when doing something new in the garden. So next is in architecture. So the uses of math in terms or in the architecture is that we will be able to know the practical knowledge of mensuration, geometry, and the symmetry. So a water tower and many other structures including many solid shapes whose volume can be calculated through geometry. So example, in symmetrical and geometrical concepts, it has been applied in the construction of some famous monuments and so on and so forth. So in the areas of differently size and shape, lands can be found through the application of areas or of the area and formula. So in the Pythagorean theory, math is used, or the geometry and symmetry, or the knowledge of mensuration, is used to measure of size for painting a building or finding the shortest route to a particular location. So here is the conclusion of this topic in math, which is the relating mathematics with the real and the concrete to the problems that may occur in our daily life is that first we discuss the definition of math, the uses of math in our daily life, which is for number 1, cooking, that's number 2, sports, number 3, finding the distance and length, in navigation, banking and shopping, gardening, as well as in the architecture. So first, in cooking, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of ratio and proportion. In sports, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of probability, mensuration, and statistics. And in finding distance and length, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of trigonometry. And in navigation, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of coordinate and geometry. And in banking and shopping, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of percentage and interest. And in gardening, we'll also know the practical knowledge of mensuration. And in architecture, we will be able to know the practical knowledge of mensuration, geometry, and symmetry. So in conclusion, relating mathematics to real-life situation is very crucial in developing a deeper understanding of mathematical concepts. So through elementary algebra, statistics, and probability, students or we can apply mathematical principles in order to solve problems that may occur in our daily life. So by doing so, students or we as a person or humans cultivate a critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and an analytical reasoning. So this learning competency will empower the students to become mathematically literate individuals who can navigate and appreciate the mathematical aspects of the world around them. So thank you so much everyone for listening and have a good day as well as God bless everyone. Bye.